Hello everyone and welcome to our next video in our series of videos on Madden NFL 19. And as I mentioned way back when I first started doing this, it doesn't seem all that long ago, but it has been a very interesting past couple of weeks. Yesterday in particular was just a mess, and so that is why the video was not done yesterday. We're going to create a franchise. And not only are we going to create a franchise, we're going to walk through some other things that you can do. And maybe, if it is frequently requested, we will even walk you through how to manage the team financially as an owner of your franchise. That is an option. And we will, if requested, we will walk you all through that. But we're just going to get you all started. A lot of things have not changed. But the big things are some of the things we're going to talk about after we get through all this intro thing. So, I'm sitting on the home advertisement. And I want to go to the right twice for me, because earlier we were an Ultimate Team, opening a bunch of packs that I had received because I ordered the Hall of Fame edition. I didn't get my Titans Legends. It's like, there were no Legends, and that irritated me. Anyway. Let's go and begin this.
Ultimate Team. Franchise.
So go until you hear Mr. Coachman say franchise. And you're going to press A. Now, if you're first starting out with the franchise, you are only going to have two options. Cloud and new. Cloud and offline. If you have played a franchise, you will have continue. I'm going to go down twice to offline. You guys can go down once. I'm going to hit A. Then it's going to bring up, for you guys, you will have two options, new and load from saved. I have continue. So I have to go to the right once. That puts me on new. Down below that for me is load from saved. I'm going to hit new. We're going to wait. I'm waiting on it to load. It has loaded. We have another option. This is that roster selection. I normally say it doesn't matter, but guys, it is preseason. We're going to use preseason. You're going to hear a different voice besides Larry Ridley.
Select the team you want to join.
Yes, they got rid of Larry. This guy sounds kind of bored. Anyways, I'm going to go to the left once because I'm already playing with the Titans. I'll choose Houston. I will hit A. Amber just made a happy noise.
Start your season with recommended settings. If you wish to change roles or adjust options, use the tiles on the right.
Basically, it just told us where we start and what we want to do if we want to change things. Well, we do want to change things, because if we were to hit A, we'd be in big trouble. First option we have is starting point. I went to the right once. We have starting point. I hit A. The first option is regular season. If you guys are comfortable with the new system, you can start there. If you are not comfortable, I would go down once and select preseason. The third option to the right of that. Don't do it. Save yourself the pain of wanting to throw your console out the window, and then the paperwork of having to file a warranty claim. And the reason why is this is the option that says start at fantasy draft. Not accessible. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It takes all of the NFL players, puts them in a big nice lottery, big nice pot, and everybody says, go get them, boys. or females, girls, if you own, you are a female owner. But we're gonna keep things simple as we can. And I do believe I went down. Yes, because of the right's fantasy draft. I'm gonna go back to the left. I too will start at preseason. I'm going to go along with you in your journey. So I'm gonna hit A. We are brought back, not to the starting tile, and I just want to mention this before we go on. If you select from an option in starting point, you're brought back to starting point. If you select anywhere else, you are brought back to the starting tile, which is start with recommended settings. Change role. Let's talk about that. I went down once, pressed A. By default, you will play as a coach. You do have the option of naming your coach, but as the keyboard is not accessible, no go. To the right of this is play as a player. Something I've not yet tried, except in Madden 13. That was long before Amber, and long before I had people that would really help me out with this sort of thing. So that is something to try. Not on your own. I don't recommend it. Owner. I did say earlier, and I will say it again, that if you guys want to learn how to manage your team financially, and there are lots of things you can do with that. You can give yourself more money if you think that your funds are running low. Yes, you can actually do that. You can, if your stadium is in bad condition, you can upgrade your stadium, which affects your fan happiness, which affects your overall rating, your value, your team value. You can adjust your concession prices, which I've always wanted to, and your ticket prices, and things like that, which is something. And merchandise. Yes, you have merchandise. So again, that in itself, as an owner, could be a whole nother separate video. And if you guys want to do that, we're more than happy to make it. But for now, because I do believe I am sitting on owner. Yes, I am. I'm going to go back to the left twice. This menu does not wrap. And in a way, that's actually good, because there's no vibration. So I'm going to go back to coach. I'm going to hit A. You are asked an additional question here. You want to use do you want to create a coach? Or do you want to use an active coach? By default, the option is create. Go to the right once, save yourself the sanity of trying to use the keyboard, and select use active. And hit A there. Now we are brought back to the big start tile. I'm going to go to the right once and down twice, and that will bring us to league settings. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I said that once you exit starting point, you are brought back to the starting point option. And that once you exit league settings or the change role, you're brought back to the start tile. Alright, so we're in the league settings options. Most of these will be familiar to some of you, because they have not changed, thankfully. Because I'll tell you this much, having to rewrite this entire set of options would be crazy. Would be glad to do it, but it would be crazy. We have a bunch of settings under the heading of Commissioner. Skill level. Madden 18 lies. Because in Madden 18 it was set to Pro everywhere all the time. That is not the case now. It is set to the skill level that you select. And that is global. Ours is set to Rookie. I want to leave it there. But let's just review the choices. Rookie, Pro, All Pro, All Madden. Don't play All Madden unless you want your head torn off. I got blown out by the computer 70-2 or 70-7. I think my best overall game was like 45-21. And that was on All Madden, folks. And we're going to switch this back to rookie. It wraps. So those are your options. Game speed, we've talked about this one. Default is normal, fast, normal, fast, very fast, slow, very slow, slow, and then back to normal. Game style, by default, we have it set to simulation. You know those options. There's arcade, competitive, and simulation. Select one. It'll wrap back to arcade. No matter where you start, even if you start on arcade, it will wrap back there. League type. For offline franchises, this does not really matter. But for online, they do. What types of players get to play in your league? Coaches and owners, all, and yeah, it wraps back to all. So all, coaches only, coaches and owners, and it wraps back to all. Instant starter if on. This only matters if you are starting as a player, but it basically says that any person that has a lower rating, even if their overall rating is lower, will start. I like this option off. Trade deadline, number 6. Amber likes this option. She likes it off. Basically, this determines if you will follow the NFL rules and you will acknowledge and end trading at week 9. We don't. Off it goes. And by the way, to the right turns it off, to the left leaves it on. Trade type. If you do not want to be pestered by computer teams wanting your players, enable all is by default. Disable will just basically say nobody can trade nobody. What you get in the draft is what you get. Who you cut is who you cut. And the rest of you all can deal. That's the middle option. Twice from the default option, this is going right, is enable human. This means that only human or user-controlled teams can agree to and initiate trades. You do not want the computer coming to offer you a half-baked player that isn't really good, but they want your player that's like 89 or 93 or something like that, and they want to give you like a player that's 72. Don't do it. Set it to human. Nobody can take your players. Coach firing. This is kind of important. Your coach has a very bad season. Can he be fired? By default, the game says no. At least, not for your team. For the computer, it's a different story. They can be fired. If you flip it to the right once, that says on. That will include you. Off, nobody can be fired. Sounds like the state. You go to work for the state, no matter how awful you do at your job or how awful your service is, you can't be fired. It takes a miracle. That's what this option does. I like CPU only. That's what I have selected. Salary cap. I said this before in Madden 18, but for those who don't know what a salary cap is, what the salary cap is a way to make sure that the NFL teams, all 32 of them, have a chance to get key players and good players on their roster. Before 1998, it was simply based on that team's budget. Now the teams have to allot a certain amount, and that is called the salary cap. sometimes that results in good players being let go because they're out of the salary cap limit. The only coach that this does not seem to apply to for some strange reason, probably because he's got really good financial people at his offices, is Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots. He has an incredible amount of salary cap room. Probably because he's never thought about trading Tom Brady, but that's another whole mess of debating and things that we're not going to do here. No offense to Patriots fans. But I like this option off because that means I can get whoever the heck I want to get. And leave everybody else with, well, players rated 50 and 60 and 70 and things like that. I want to go down, though. Relocation settings. Basically, do you want to relocate your team? Users, only human players or players that are actually controlled by us can relocate our teams. Everyone can relocate. All users, basically, instead of just being you, if you had a league and they were online and you had 8 players that were user players, they could all relocate. Disable, nobody relocates. Everybody stays where they are no matter what the outcry for the fan base is, from the fans are. I'm going to leave it on normal. Actually, no, I'm going to disable it for this. And that's what you guys probably want to do if you don't want to relocate, because the computer may just up and your stadium is horrible. Let's relocate you. The next option is injuries. We know what injuries are. They happen all the time. The next option is pre-existing injuries. This actually did come to bite us. We tried to get Hunter Henry, an absolutely amazing tight end out of, I do believe it was Arkansas. He is with the Chargers. We did not realize he was injured until he had a complete ACL. He had a complete ACL tear. We didn't know that until we got him. We put him on injury reserve. We still got him, but yeah, we have to wait a year to use him, and in the meantime, we're paying his medical bills. Practice squad stealing. I said last year this is worse than stealing ships in Mariani. And it is. It really, really is. Because... oh, Lord. Because if you are building a practice squad, this would not apply to you guys so much, because you're going to have the computer do it for you. But you still might want to turn this off, because whatever players your computer puts on your squad, nobody else can come get. We accidentally left this off in a franchise. I think it was in Madden 18. Yeah, it was 18. We left this on, and we forgot that we left it on. And some of our players, which were like upper 70s, lower 80s, were gone. They got snatched, and Amber was a very mad Amber. I was not very happy either, because we drafted those players in their 80s. We had a really good draft class that year. So yeah, turn this off if you don't want no one snatched from you. Player progression frequency. The default for this is weekly. I guess they changed the default. The right is end of the season. The right is every 4 weeks. I'm looking at my old notes. I apologize. And then end of the season. I like end of the season, because that way they can't progress with you at the same time. Now we're into clock management settings. First option, quarter length. We've talked about this. By default, it's set to 6 minutes. What do you want it set to? You can set it all the way to 15. and played the longest franchise of your career. Actually, you might only want to play 1 game per week if you set it to 15. Set it to what you want. Accelerated clock. This basically makes the game feel more realistic, especially when you're running out of time in the end of the game, because it sets the play clock to. It also will speed up the game for you by adjusting the next option down, which is what will your play clock go down to. And we talked about that. It's 25, 30, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You guys get the picture. But if you turn this off, which we did, you can't do anything with that. It's a dimmed option. Minimum play clock time. What does accelerated clock run it down to? So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the next set of options. The next options under the user team help heading. Season experience. This was introduced in Madden 18. I'm so glad they did this. Remember, that was the secret option that I wanted you all to get to, and I had fun kind of leading you on that journey of getting you to this. By default, you will do everything. Trades, trading, bidding on free agents, the draft, everything. Contract negotiations, all of that. You can play through a season quickly, which is what I recommend. It's called Simple Season. Full control. To the right is Customize. That basically will let you go set these other options to either manual or audio. Or audio, oh my god. Or auto. And the last option is Simple Season. Or you can just go once to the left. This menu wrap. These choices wrap. And so, like right now, it's on full experience or total control. I can go once to the left. That's Simple Season. I want it set to Simple Season, because that's going to make it look like what you guys are going to get when we actually go and start and look at the main sections of the thing. I'm not going to go through and tell you what these are set to, because we've set it to Simple Season. So by default, everything is off. But I will go through these with you. Weekly training. It's all to auto, but it's meaning it's set to where you don't have to mess with it, so I'm not going to switch the option. Weekly training. Trades and free agency. Off-season free agent bidding, injury management, preseason cut days, contract negotiations, scout college players, league advancement. We'll advance every week. This is set to auto. And team settings, we have a few more. Tutorial pop-ups. I don't like these. I'm going to turn that off. The next two options are very important. Progress players. There was player progression up in league settings. That determined when the CPU progressed its players. This determines when we will progress our players. Or no, not when we will progress them, but if we have to do it ourselves or not. I said last year, let the CPU do it. I say again, let the CPU do it. Especially now, because this new system of progression will basically, the computer will know, based on your player's position, their tendencies, and new types of rating, new types of schemes that are built in, what to progress your player in, versus just random experience points going to some random place. And the final option in here, fill roster. sometimes, and with my Titans, oh my gosh, we didn't have a defensive tackle. We had like half a million safeties, no, it was 500,000. We had 500,000 linebackers on our team, but no defensive tackles. Go figure. Someone in that front office does not know how to manage a football team. Turn this option on. And this is set to on, love, because... Wait, did I move? No, I didn't. That's the right one. Okay, so it's on. Then. Hang on, we're going to double check this. Okay, so this was on by default, so you do not have to set this. But basically what this does is if you don't have players, the computer will basically sign free agents for you. So we have set all this. We're going to hit the B button to go back, or the circle button. If you broke things, hit the Y button. That'll undo everything. Once you make a change, it's saved automatically. We are now sitting at the Start with Recommended Settings button. My notes say you'll hear Larry Ridley. I don't think you'll hear anything, but we are ready to start. Off we go. We are loading. Sorry, folks, it's not telling you anything. And it's basically going through now and doing all of the things that need to be done before we get to preseason. Oh, there was an option in last year's Madden to set the weekly goal. Or the yearly goal. That's not even an option. I don't know why, but the only options we have on this section are start preseason game and advance week. But we're not done yet. I said that we added more things to look at. We're going to mash down on the right stick because somebody asked, how do you turn off that, I love it, abusive music? And it's horrendously abusive. To those of you who don't like it, if you guys do, if there are some of you who do like it, you all can keep it, go for it. But I'm going to be honest with you all, personally, it makes me ill that a football game, and the producers have said football game, cannot make their music have some variety. In 17, they did. Yes, it was mostly rap, but they had some, what sounded like, they had some country, they had some rock, they had some, a couple of tracks that sounded, sort of rock hip-hop-ish, sort of a little R&B type thing. But in 18 and 19, it's all people who are auto-tuned even, and who can't even rap. It's terrible. It's terrible. So we're going to show you how to adjust it. Because on the main screen, you can't do it. Can't do it. I'm going to hit down on, I'm going to press in or straight down on the right stick, not down as in pull down, directionally. I'm going to press the in. And we are brought up with a context menu. Take over is what I've labeled this option. You can... Characters. Sorry, it's called characters. I call it take over because if you don't have multiple characters or multiple teams at your disposal, you can On your uh-huh. Wait, right there. Yeah, that's create new, and that's where you go to snatch another team. So if they ever make trading and things accessible and you can't get the player that you want, this is really bad, but this is what we do. If they won't give you the player that you want, because sometimes they won't, no matter what you offer them, go take the team over and then you can get the player that you want. But we're not going to go here. We're going to hit our right bumper or R1. Notifications. There are settings here that deal with notifications, and I'll go over those briefly in a minute. Social feed. Option 4. Music. Gonna hit A, and did I just take that away? So how do I get it back? Hit A again? Okay. A to check the box. So I have all these instrumentals on. I am not going to go through and add any of these, because the moment that I do, because all of these artists who can't rap and who use a bunch of enhancement stuff, they basically make it so that if their music appears on your video, it's going to get flagged for copyright. So I can't actually go through and change these, but I can tell you what you need to do to change them. So once you hit, once you select this option, once you get here, you don't need, you press X to play whatever it is that you're on, and then you press A to deselect it if you don't like it, or A to select it. Have deselected everything. Well, you may not, it may be random where it starts. So basically the simplest way to do this is to go through, listen to each thing, deselect it, deselect everything, go back through from where you last ended, from where you stopped, listen to it, and then select the ones that you want, versus trying to figure out where you are in the list, because it wraps and it's random and it's a mess. But this is how you do that. And 5 is settings. We will discuss. Okay, so I'm going to deselect all the instrumentals. I do believe I'm on one of them. I'm going to hit A. I go down. I'm on another one, right? I'm going to hit A to deselect. I'm going to go down. So hit A there. Going to go up again. Up again. All gone. Now you've got no menu music. We don't want that. Especially because I actually kind of like having some sort of background. Oh, by the way, these are the same instrumentals from last year. They didn't even bother updating them. Come on, guys. Give us a few more. There are 31, not 30, 30 plus 1 people who can't rap and who use auto-tune and who use synthesis. And there are 6 instrumentals, and they're the exact same instrumentals from last year. You can copy and paste. Anyways, now I'm going to add these all back because I want some menu music. So I'm going to hit A. Going to go down. A. Going to go down. Do I want this one? Oh, it's not going to let me listen to it. Because that's probably the one that's playing. If it's not selected. Do I want this one? Yes, I do. Do I want this one? I'm going to select it. I do want that one. Somebody. So yeah, we're turning up the volume on the TV. So now I can hear it. I'm going to hit A to select this one. I want that one. And this one. And unfortunately, this wraps. So, but at least you have a sound to let you know that it wraps. I wish it didn't. It would make things a million times easier with 39? No, 31, 37. 37. 40 tracks. So, wait, then that means there's more than 31 that are... 37, yeah. So, we got the instrumentals back. The last option is settings, and these are just for the notifications. Madden Ultimate, well, you got Madden Ultimate Team here. That's the first one. Franchise notifications. Other notifications. And then for social feed, you have Madden Ultimate Team. B is franchise. C is head-to-head. And D is other. And then the next option is show new content and show preview. So these are just notifications. You can adjust these. You can turn these on or off. And I wanted to show you all these just because they're there. Now we're going to basically hit the right stick again to get out of this menu. Or the B button will also work. But yeah, let's do this. All right. We are back in our little things to do area. And this is the things to do tab. If this were not a simple season, there would be all sorts of stuff here. Training and things like that. But we have nothing here except to start and advance. So let's go look and see what else we have. The next option is team. And what this shows is the different views of your team. You can view offensive, defensive, I'm going up and down with the arrows, Levin. It's moving. Oh, so up and down with your directional pad moves from player to player. That's looking at players at a single position. Your depth in that position. And I guess, yeah, left and right changes the position that you're looking at. If we go down with our analog stick, we can view... Okay. The right stick. Sorry, guys. If we go down with the right stick, that switches the view. We can now break this down and look at you can look at offense. That's the default option. Defense, special teams, kickers, punters. There won't be many positions here. Oh, there are, because you got the gunners and the blockers and everything like that. And then we have a new option this year, specialists. You know, I don't have these written down, but these are the basic special, these are the positions, the people who will come in on certain types of plays, like your third down running backs, your slot receivers, your dime backs, which is basically a defensive back that plays on third down, or your nickel back, which plays in the nickel formation, things like that. That's here in team, so you can break all that down. There will be a tab for your practice squad as well in here under team, but we have more to look at. You can't really do much here. You might be able to glean some information from OCR. I've not tried that, but everything's layered, and OCR, at least in its stage now, does not organize layers very well. So we're going to go to the next tab over with the right bumper. This is manage. This is where, as a coach or an owner, you can do things. You might You might be able to look at things with your injuries and things like that. We would have to go through and do some extensive testing. And again, if that is something you all want us to do, we can do that. But the first option is my team. Because you don't have the owner stuff, you're not going to have the next option down. Because the next option for us is my coach. I guess that would change. Okay, free agents. Okay. Just for them, because you don't have... you're not set to owner. And so you don't have those options. So for you guys, next will be free agents. And then my coach. So this third option down is my coach. And then improved team. Trade center. When you... Improved team. So, if you guys choose owner, you will not see all this. You will see my team, my coach, and improved team, and my owner, which we did not list, but it's there if you're an owner. Your free agents. It's what? So it's my team, my owner, my coach, improved team. So for you guys, you have free agent, or you have my team, you have free agents, my coach, and then trade center, which I do believe is where we're at right now. And that's the bottom of that menu. You will feel haptic vibration if you go to the bottom, so it does not wrap, thank goodness. Aha! The next option is league. News is here. This might be good with OCR. It may not be good with OCR. B is stats. This will show you how statistically you are doing. Transactions. I guess what players you have traded. And how much. If this were an online franchise, it would be extremely important, but since this is offline, you can kind of ignore it. I don't have schedule. Probably because we're in the preseason. Oh, I forgot about that. So this menu is not straight vertical, but it does not wrap. So what you'll do when you get to transactions, you'll go up 2, and you'll go to the right ones. Schedule, this will show you what your team schedule is. Right now it's showing preseason. And then the final option in here is standings. This could also probably work with OCR. Again, it has not been tested. But if that's something you would like to try or something you would like us to test, we can do that. And that way you know where you are in relation to everybody else. And that's important, especially around the midway point of the season when you're fighting for that playoff spot. But the announcers will also give you indications as to where you are. But this will tell you exactly where you are. Customize. Boy, we've been here before. Hang on, apparently something different has popped up. It might be the office, too. There are options in here. Do we want to hit it and find out what it is? See what happens. Hang on, guys. So we know what that is. So if you choose coach as your role, which is the default, you have an option under customize, and we're going to visit customize in a minute. Does this wrap? No, it does not. That's good. If you hit A on this by default right now because you're in preseason, you can't leave. Only in the playoffs can you actually release yourself. So that is demand release. I don't think that was here last year. It was not here last year. But we want customization. We're going to go in here. And A is your league settings. We went through all these earlier, but if you mess something up, you can fix that here. B is your team settings. C is your XP sliders. I do not know what these do. I have a feeling I know what these do. Because I think the more you raise these, the more overall experience you'll get. And the more you lower them, well, yeah. Gameplay sliders. This is what we want to check. Remember how way back when we did exhibition, how we went in and we changed all these to make sure that we could play? Let's see if they hold up in this new franchise. No. So, when you create a new franchise, now are they listed? Oh, they're all one giant list, aren't they? Okay, guys, this is what they did. Your settings will not hold up in here. They are all set to 50. They are the same settings, but your CPU skill sliders and your computer and your player skill sliders are in one giant list. And so I'm not going to go through, but if you reference the sliders that we did in exhibition, after you're done adjusting those, and if let's give you how many will go down. So we have, whoops, that wraps. I apologize. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Of the player ones. Let's see if that's correct. Okay, so 8 sliders you have before you get to the CPU ones, and then you will lower or raise those as you would like. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have another set. Special teams applies to everybody. And there's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8, 8, and 5. Or 9, 8, and 5. 8, 9, and 5 is what you will. So the 8 you will raise, the 9 you will lower, and you might as well raise the 5. It won't really matter if the computer can't score against you. We're gonna back out of here. We didn't make any changes. Oh, what? Okay, there's more. 8, 9, 5, and injuries is on. We've dealt with that already. Oh, these are the sliders. So they divided these into another category called game options. So injuries, fatigue, Yep, the minimum player speed threshold. We have not talked about that. But this basically determines whether, basically how fast your players will go in relation to the fastest player. Faster and slower. Higher, lower, the faster, yeah. And the next option, so... Yes. Yep. Okay. So the higher, there is little difference. The lower, there is a greater difference. And what's this option, or does it wrap finally? Penalties is also here. 2, 3. Okay, so 1. Well, there was 3 in the other one, right? Yeah, so 3 in that one. So 8, 9, 5, 3, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8, 9, 5, 3, 5. That's how you can remember this. Some of these are switches. So 6, 7 is a switch. 8 is a slider. 9 is a switch. 10 is a slider. 11 is a switch. No, I didn't. 12 is a switch. Now it wraps. So 8, 9. I wish they had these separated. This is ridiculous. It's an accessibility nightmare because you don't know where you are in this thing. Heading to heading. So if you want to go around and play with these options, just remember the first 8 are your sliders, the second 8 are the computers, the second 9 are the computers. Then you have special teams, I'd raise those. And then you have 3 options, and then you have game options, which have those other 3. And then you have penalties, which have 12. So 8, 9, 5, 3, 5, 12. Yeah, it's a mess in here, guys. Yeah, 8, 9, 5, 3, 12. 8, 9, 5, 3, 1, 2. Or you, yeah, literally, you can think of it like that. The point is that is a huge mess. So they do not hold here. It is separate. Let's go back. And I think... Oh, there is one more option. I do want to show you all. I do believe that is retire. That's why I was asking you. Okay, so inside of settings, once you go into customize, the last option, that is the last option. No. User teams is the last option. But this option here, don't use it unless you want to prematurely end your franchise. However, if you do want to laugh, you can press A once, and I mean, that's what I did earlier, Love, as we went through. Love, that's where league settings and team settings and XP sliders and gameplay sliders That's... yeah. Is user teams. Yeah, for some reason it took me out of it, and it put me back in the main customize menu, but that's what's next in the list of actual settings after the sliders is retire and then user teams, and that's the end of settings. We're going to back out of here. We are going to go to the left until we get to our things to do, and that, my friends, is creating a franchise in Madden NFL 19. If you want to learn how to play as an owner, please let us know. Please let me know on the forum, and please also let me know through email, and we will make that happen. These videos are quite the undertaking. Some of them last longer than others, some of them have more options than others, but a great deal of detail goes into making these videos. And in order to make these videos, we must have the games to make these videos. Buying these games is not cheap. It takes, especially if you pre-order and you get the editions that let you play early, some of these editions cost $70, $80, sometimes $90 a game. That's very taxing. If you like the content that you are hearing, and I've already seen requests on the forums for more games, please consider donating. Please consider it. It will help offset the cost of getting new games so that we can explore them, find any accessibility options, if any, tell you all how to play them, tell you all the best means to go about how to play them, and basically give you all the tools that you all need to be successful. If you wish to donate, please send a donation to the follower, TheFollowер212 @gmail.com. That is the follower 212. Again, that is TheFollower 212 @gmail.com. That way I will be able to produce more content like this. The next video we will do is actually playing that first franchise game, and it will be preseason. And then we will show you how easy it will be to advance and to move on to the next, because it's actually very simple indeed. And then next will come the user requested videos at that point. And so, for now, until next time, this is Vol for Life 8657, wishing you all a good day, God bless, and signing off.